you guys aren't, but I see that we're down 4-2. Pushing the ball, good tempo. It's a nice pace. We're getting the shots we want. They're just not dropping, but that's kind of the norm in the early stages of a game. You get those jitters out. We have some, I'm not going to say a young team, but we have some new Tar Heels. Whether they played at other places, they are new to playing at Carolina against an NC State or a Duke. So I like what I see so far. Bailey on my screen just hit a shot. So we're tied at 4, what I'm seeing on my delay. I am in Alabama. I'm in Alabama, so I could be behind, guys. So I don't know, but they're looking good. I'm excited.
Awesome. Janelle's awesome. And she was just nominated for the Lisa Leslie Award.
Yes. And you know who's on that committee, Tiff? Rob Knox. So we might have to put in a call. Somebody on the committee. I'm like pulling the strings. We might have to put some calls in. But no, she deserves to be on that list. I love her. With us both being post players, we can appreciate her footwork. Her IQ is phenomenal. The way she commands that attention and then distributes the ball once she gets that double team on the block. I think that's just phenomenal. She gets her teammates involved.
So JT, I got to be a little selfish. These uniforms is tough.
I know, man. I'm jealous. Leah and Kim, after the season, being that there's no violations, I'm going to put in a bid. If there's a number, number 10 was my number. I like these jerseys. I'm trying to get back in that playing body though. After having a child. But no, those uniforms are fire. And let's talk about attire. So I don't know if you all have noticed, like, the coaches are much more relaxed on the sideline in COVID. I call it the COVID wear. I remember when we played, Coach Hatchell had this suit that she bought out every time for NC State with the Lions. Now, I don't know who's on this call. I know Natasha Lynn. I see you. You weren't on the basketball team, but Natasha Lynn is a softball student athlete. She played 4 years. She also wore number 10 for the Tar Heels in softball. But for those who are on here, Megan's on here.
The Lions.
I don't know the Lions came out talking about Roar on the patches and gold. And that was a staple outfit. I think I saw it all 4 years that I was there as a student athlete.
And the clear shoes. Definitely were staple.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now it's a much more relaxed feel. I'm liking this feel now with the coaches because I want a pair of J's. Let's talk about Roy Williams. I think we're the same size. So I'm going to put another plug out. I'm a 9.5 in men. Roy Williams shoe game is stellar. I don't know what size Coach Beckard wears, but if she's 11 or 10.5 in women, because they are coming with the fire, and our color scheme is already amazing. And then with Jumpman, it takes it to a whole nother level. But I'm really liking a relaxed feel. I think it puts the coaches in their natural environment. I see coaches sometimes on the sideline stumbling around in heels. And it's like, just be natural in your shoes. But I love it. I think they look great. Look great.
We called them the uniforms. Remember, JT, back in the early part of COVID, the uniforms, the 3/4 zip with the joggers.
I wore my uniform religiously. My work uniform with my
sideline wear is uniforms.
It's the uniform.
And but you know what? Honestly, I don't think I would want to coach in sneakers because I'll mess around and forget that I'm supposed to be on the sideline.
You will run out there.
Get too comfortable.
So I'm still coaching, and I coach in my sneakers. I found myself in the jump circle. I said, I had a give back coach. My assistant, she grabbed me. I said, just get off me. She's like, look down. I was like, oh my bad, you're right. I'm coming.
You gotta have a get back coach, man.
I gotta get back.
You gotta have a get back coach. You have to. You have to. Gosh. That's funny. I didn't think about that. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, we can close it in a little bit. It's 12-14 right now.
Yeah.
And let's talk about Stephanie Watson handling this ball. She's so good, so long. But can somebody tell me what's going on with the tucking of the shorts in the spandex? I see that all across the country.
It's progressively gotten higher and tighter over the past 3 years, higher and tighter. Okay. Now, look, our girls look good. I'm not knocking. They look phenomenal. They look great. And but just think about the uniforms we used to wear. Why were they so big? Like, I look at my stuff now. It swallows me now, and I'm a solid 30 pounds heavier than when I played. So what were we doing? shout out. I would lie. No, that's just the face at the bottom. Fly heavier. But I looked at my varsity jacket. Why did we get them so big? I had like an XL in a varsity men's jacket.
But I was watching something, the Salt and Pepper documentary. And how when you even looked at females in entertainment, it was the tight up top bra tops and the huge big old pants. And I was like, what part of our lives did we think we could just keep wearing men's pants, tightening the belt, and thinking it was cool? And the same thing with the uniforms. When the men went bigger, ours got bigger. And now everybody's a slim cut. Because I look at some of the
men's are slim.
And everybody's got like these slim silhouette cuts, thighs are tight. I'm like, I had to
tell one of my players, I can see your rib cage through the uniform. We're gonna go up a size, sir. That's not okay.
I know it's a timeout. I think on my screen it's a timeout right now.
The timeout, yeah.
Of course, just want to kind of just welcome everybody who's jumped in. We are in full conversation mode. Look, FORevHER Tar Heels, if you have not checked it out, if you have not given and supported our female student athletes at Carolina, this is what we're here for. We're here to push. Yes, we're pushing an agenda. Support female athletes. This past week was National Girls and Women in Sport Day. That should be every day. We should be mentoring. We should be giving back. If you can't give money, give your time. Share your stories. As alums, it's important to give back and share your stories, have these opportunities to reconnect. I feel like it's a little reunion, Natasha Lynn in the building, Megan is here. I see Cricket, let me tell you.
Cricket's awesome.
And Jennifer, I know you were just honored by the Rams Club for Black History Month as a legend. That's having someone like Cricket on our staff and being a woman of color and sharing her space always with a smile. Yeah. We appreciate that. So we
appreciate that. Yeah.
Definitely.
And then you have Dawn on here. A lot of familiar names. But like Tiff said, it's about supporting our student athletes, especially our female student athletes, because representation matters, and they need to see positive females who are doing great things in their fields that they want to go into. While we happen to be in the athletic realm, we have a lot of wonderful former female student athletes doing some amazing things across all different fields. And so I think, it starts by spreading the word. I know that a lot of people weren't familiar with the initiative. Tiff and I, we're in a subgroup, which is Hoop Fi, and I see Emily saying, I'm pledging Hoop Fi now. Yes, ma'am.
Hey.
We want to encourage everyone to stay connected. While we're women's basketball alums, we also are friends with former softball players. Natasha Lynn, I've slept on her couch numerous times in undergrad.
Numerous.
And
appreciate that time.
was a great designated driver too. We were safe. And so we want to make sure, I'm friends with a lot of volleyball student athletes, and it's crazy. One of my former coaches from AAU, his daughter is now a volleyball student athlete, a sophomore on the volleyball team at Carolina. So it's crazy how things come full circle, and you never know how your connection with people can just carry you throughout. So it's always good to be positive, and we need to continue to talk about the why. The why is important to give back, especially during COVID, when budgets have been drastically cut. I look at my budget every day as an administrator up here about to pull out one of these braids, because I'm just like, it's crazy because you just don't know, when people think about the Carolinas and these other Power 5 schools have all this money, but they were hurt probably the most because of television, season ticket sales. You can't open your stadium, and then you have 20 plus teams that you have to support. So a lot of the female and the Olympic sports teams got hit the most during this impact with COVID. So that's where we have to step in and kind of close that gap. And Tiff nailed it. If you can't give financially, give your time. We talk about time and talents.
I think too, from a just an educational standpoint, yes, the university does get a budget from the state of North Carolina, but what we're talking about is these supplemental dollars. So, coaches can go out and recruit higher quality, better athletes. So the student athletes can get more, whether it's in Carolina gear or things that they need to actually equipment to play and practice.
Facility enhancements. Look at this.
I was just going there.
Looks.
Facilities. You
yes.
know, I mean, everybody in the country has. I feel like at the Power 5 level have these basketball development centers where literally, I mean, top to bottom, state of the art. That's how we get to the next level. That's how we win championships. We're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're just trying to do and provide our student athletes with whatever they need in order to be the best that they can be. So like I said, I know for us, especially due to COVID and testing protocols right now, yes, we get a pot of money for it, but we're going to have to use some of these support dollars to be able to pay for COVID testing, because every conference in the country has a different protocol that you kind of have to follow, and that's going to require extra dollars. And for some of our teams, they're going to have to dig into these funds that we give to be able to have games and compete. So anything you can do to help, we definitely appreciate it. So pump up Forever Tar Heels. I love it.
Pump up. Talk to Leah.
No, we just hit a milestone.
Bring that up because when you were talking about the impact of COVID, you guys, one of the things that we were able to do because of folks like yourselves that have chosen to give back and support is give an additional $10,000 to each winner this year.
Wow.
For coaches,
that's huge.
That's huge. It's because of people on this call. So thank you guys. This is actually not public yet. You'll all hear about it tomorrow. So you guys are the first ones. Thank you, and you're so right.
Yeah, and Leah, I think too, we're out of the silent phase. I know that's an old term now, but we're out of the silent phase, and we hit a milestone. I know our original goal was $100 million, and we're at 70 million right now.
70 million.
And that's just without letting the entire world know. That's just by being the Leah and Kim and your team and going out and getting the dollars prior to the public release. So now it's time. Every little bit counts. I don't care how much it is. Please give, because all the little dollars add up. I promise you.
Yes.
And as they said on Coming to America, we like the kind that jingles, but we prefer the kind that folds. So
we like the kind that folds. Yes, that's you're Coming to America. Yes, and it's crazy though to see how, even though it's in the silent phase, and that's kudos to Leah and Kim, other institutions are taking heed and are making programs and developing programs targeting women and giving for women initiatives. So kudos to you all to take the lead on that and to start and be trailblazers in that space, because now you're seeing it pop up where people are looking at you all as the blueprint and modeling after the FORevHER program. But we were the first. So remember that, everyone. We are the first. So let's continue to support. Get with Leah or Kim if you all have more questions. Tiff was a great ambassador, kicked off the opening ceremonies. I was talking about like Olympics, but I like to say the opening ceremony.
It felt like
and kicked everything off. Yes, I was so mad I couldn't be there. We had a football game, but I was there in spirit. But get with Tiff, get with Leah, get with Kim. I'm a donor to the initiative as well. It's just a wonderful thing to give to. And like I said, you can support whatever team you're passionate with. It doesn't have to be women's basketball. It's about women's sports in general. So that's our philanthropy plug. Go Rams Club. That's how I even got into thinking about like development, was through the Rams Club. So yes, go Rams Club. But look, we are doing really well. I'm trying to I'm going between talking with you all, listening to Tiff, listening to Leah, looking who's coming in, chat, and the game. And we are doing really, really well. So I like the positive vibe. I'm gonna say it's the positive vibe from the Zoom. Our ladies are feeling it. We're channeling it into Carmichael Arena. But they're looking good. It looks like they're clicking. I see a lot of talking. When you go into these type of games, you have to stay together. Because, even though fans aren't in the gym, which is crazy in itself, I never thought we'd come and not have fans in there, but that's what COVID has brought about. as a team, it forces you to even stay more together and to encourage and talk from the bench. So your bench has to be that sixth man that would normally be in the stands. And then you out there, that five, have to really stay together, because you have to now kind of pull from within a little more than when you would have fans cheering you on and inspiring you and motivating you to keep going. So it's just a different environment that we're in. And I think people, and sometimes fans, don't really think about it as, when you're a student athlete, to not have, especially when you have such a vibrant backing as we do in Chapel Hill, to not be able to have your fans, your season ticket holders, even your administrators, who can be some of the liveliest fans in the stands, really supporting your, the team. It's hard. And you see a lot of teams are being affected by not having fans in there. Look at Duke. I hate to bring that crazy school up down the road, but the Cameron Crazies, they're crazy. And you can see the impact. And even Michigan State, when you look at, what the Tom Izzo section, it's really affecting a lot of environments. And I just look at it for us to not see the fans behind there, to not see that group of season ticket holders that we would look for as student athletes, knowing that they have our back when you run out. That's just a different, puts you in a different space mentally as a student athlete.
Yeah, and it's about that preparation too, especially when you're coming out of the tunnel and you're lined up and you're waiting on the band to cue the music so you can run out at your on your time. I can only imagine. I know we talk a lot about mental health, and I'm so blessed to have a sports psychologist on our staff where our student athletes can tap into that resource. And that's another thing, when you give our student athletes have an opportunity to have some of these resources that our larger institutions for us have. And I remember, I forgot, Dr. Hack was our sports psychologist when I was there. But having an opportunity to have someone who understands the identity of a student athlete, what does performance look like? What does, not meeting the standard look like? And managing that from a mental health aspect, nutrition, having someone, Jen Ketterly was our nutritionist when I was there. And actually she's my nutritionist at UNCW. So, having an opportunity for our students to, talk to someone about the struggles, but who do you talk to about just not having that energy? And it's so important as a teammate that you stay fired up. That bench is so important. All of your support staff, all of your managers, all of that is so freaking important. Oh yeah, we're up 21-20. I'm so happy. This is awesome.
Hey, Tiff, I'm just add a little bit to what you were just talking about. So as a coach, sometimes role players can kind of lose their voice on some teams. And so I found that this year I really challenged my role players because their role is different and it has more emphasis and more power. And so our role players have felt more confident, felt more part of the team because their role is so much more significant, as they can help me coach my players, because you can hear what they're saying just like you can hear me. And so for me, it is actually, I've seen the mental health of my role players actually become better and healthier because they feel more important. They feel like more of an influence on the team.
Yeah, that's so great. You're so spot on, Megan. I was looking at, we were given some favorites by the students, by the players. Jennifer, what was your favorite Chapel Hill restaurant? I'm looking at some of these restaurants and I was like, I don't know them.
Yeah, Franklin Street is very, very different. I mean, we're ancient now, Tiff. So, I mean, we're going to have to do another reunion when outside opens up. But Spanky's was one of my favorite. I don't even know if Spanky's is still there.
Those freaking mashed potatoes.
Those ribs.
And them ribs. So
good. Of course, Top of the Hill is a staple. I think Sutton. We did our pregame there. Sutton's, I mean, that's a given. Sutton's was just we always went to Sutton's. But I really liked Spanky's. I remember we used to go there as a group. About 6 of us would go there kind of religiously. How we were affording to eat there as student athletes twice a week. I mean, we made it happen.
We made it happen.
We made it happen. But
time out.
Timeout. That was the late night with the biscuits.
The late night.
Yeah, I don't think I ate timeout during the day. Sorry.
No, I never ate timeout during the day. And BW3s had like the 25-cent wings on Tuesdays.
When we would stay in Granville Towers in the summer, we would definitely enjoy having B-dubs right across the street. Yeah, that was fun times working camp and going to BW3s.
Dawn Bradley in the building, the president of our Hoop5 alumni group. Hey, President, Madam President.
What's happening, ladies?
Here.
Loving, enjoying the color comment. Who you know? Enjoying the commentary.
Yay! So happy to have you, Dawn.
Dawn, while you're here, share a quick story. Do you have a quick, awesome Carolina story that you want to share with the group?
Oh man, there's so many. Gosh, I don't even know where to start. Anything in particular? Any subject in particular?
Let's talk about one of the games, your most memorable game.
Oh wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to say most memorable game for me was probably a game at Wake Forest because it was the year, my freshman year, we were struggling really, really bad. Only Coach Hatchell's second year as a coach, you know, we hadn't quite gelled together as a team. And we went down to Wake Forest and ripped it up, just all kind of good. And everybody gained a little bit of confidence. It was still tough, you know, the rest of the year, but it was good. You know, it's good when you see the potential of what you can do come to light as a team. And we were definitely all there for each other. So that was definitely a really good moment for us, freshman year.
That's awesome.
Nice.
That is awesome.
Also, well, thanks, Dawn.
Tiff, real quick, since we're talking about favorite memories, you know, you were a part of the ACC championship team. I always seem to lose to Duke 3 years in a row in the ACC championship, but it's okay. But we're going to talk about, we paved the way for things to come for y'all to win it. We paved the way. So talk about what it takes, that championship mentality. Talk about, you know, what does it take to get to that level? Right now, our team, you know, Courtney's in her second year, you know, still new, getting the players, you know, acclimated to the system. This is a COVID year, so you can't, to me, really judge much off of this. Tiff, what does it take, that championship mentality, to get the girls, you know, there?
You know, JT, I remember coming in as a freshman, and that workout that summer, that preseason was a beast. Because the team before us I think they went like 13-14 in the ACC and just wasn't good. Lost to Duke, and I just remember that summer being like a beast, and everybody had like this mentality that we will not lose. Like it was every 6 a.m. workout. I'm running the mile, JT.
Do they run the mile? We need to ask the girls. They still run the mile. And that year, Tiff, you came in. That was the year that we did. Now, that was my soft. We didn't go to the tournament that year.
Right.
So we were definitely extremely focused and extremely had a chip on our back because they asked us if we wanted to go to the NIT, and it was up to the seniors, and the seniors said no. You know, we don't make the NCAA, it's all or nothing. We're not doing the NIT. And so that summer you came in, Tiff, you're right. The mentality was completely different. It was you know, we had to come out and prove something. We had to be selfless, and we had to play for each other.
Yeah, and I remember that year we ended up losing to Duke in the at the ACC tournament, and Coach Hatchell made us sit on the bench while they got their awards. So there's like, we're at the Greensboro Coliseum, like literally just lost. She made us sit on the bench. Looking stupid.
Looking stupid. Drop the Drake song. I'm upset.
Confetti is crying all on our faces.
Yes.
And it was like, okay, this is what winners get. And we're losers right now. It became real. And I know like everybody's in the visualization and meditation. And this was an opportunity to meditate on being a loser and what it felt like not to win. And I think we all went into that next year with that. I do not want to feel like that ever again. I don't want to be the one where somebody's poking at me. And I talk to our student athletes a lot about discipline and how our coaches really didn't have to do a lot of discipline because it was self-regulated. Jennifer, you were a team captain. Like, you all kind of made us like held us accountable for the things we didn't do. Not that it was a whole lot of just issues within the team. It was just like we knew that it wasn't our coaches. We were doing this for each other. And as captains, you all reinforced that. You were always great about communicating. Okay, this is what we're going into practice now. This is what we need to focus on. Building each other up. We had great relationships off the court, which was good too, because we were able to kind of gel in that realm, and because of those quality relationships, we were able to translate a lot of that onto the court. And I think that's really what made us successful even after you matriculated from the program. I think that literally all of that helped. That leadership helped us move to where we are now. I see Dawn's hand is raised.
Hand is up, yeah. I'm about to say, Tiff, but can I I'm trying to get a ring though. I want my reparations because I contributed to that. So I need a ring.
Hold on, JT, you got, between the two of us, I think you got like 13, 14 rings.
Stop. I'm trying to get my Carolina ring though. I got mine as an administrator. I got my administrator rings. I want my player. No. But go ahead, Dawn, and then we have Megan after Dawn.
No, definitely just piggybacking on the roles and the leadership Megan was talking about earlier. I would definitely have to say my most substantial moment was, my freshman year. I blew my knee out my sophomore year, and your role changes. New freshmen coming in, new players coming in, and at that moment you're like, all right, am I going to accept this new role, help my team win, or am I going to pout? So Coach Hatchell made me a captain. Charlotte came in my junior year. Sylvia came in. Practice, worked hard together. I really worked hard to groom them, cheer them on. And 2 years later, they won a national championship. So it's really about when you get to take on a leadership role, take it seriously, understand how important it is. And it's not always about you scoring or you getting the highlights. It's about the team. And so that moment was huge for me. That was my championship. I wasn't on the court, but I got a metaphorical ring for that one, like you said, Jay. I'm waiting on my reparations for that as well.
Yeah. We wait, Tom. Go ahead, Megan.
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you guys for sitting there and having the confetti on your face, because I came in right after that. So I appreciate that. But I would definitely say that, like, for us, because I was there with 1 year with Tiff, and then after that, so we won 4 straight, and it definitely was based on like what had been built before we got there. Like there was this expectation, there was this accountability, and honestly, we wouldn't have won 4 straight if it wasn't for that. And like, I'm a firm believer of, we are a program that has built from years and years and years of expectations of being great. And I just remember, like, I remember Ivory and Camille and Elena, like, we would win games and we would get in the locker room and they would be like using choice words to make sure that like we didn't get out rebounded or like things like that after a win, because our standards were set so high, because we wanted to make sure that we did the program right, because the program was so important for us. So like, I was there when we happened to win the 4, but it wasn't just that group that was there that won the 4. It was everybody that came before. So thank you for your confetti faces. I appreciate y'all. I'll show you my rings when we get done.
Don't see, Megan. See. No, but that's I appreciate that, and it's just it's an honor to, like I said, to play at Carolina, and just to see a lot of the former players on the call just supporting each other and supporting the team, just even through our Hoop Fi initiative. Dawn has done a wonderful job. Dawn, Tiff, The group has done a really great job of getting the message out, and we want to continue to support our current Tar Heels and want them to know that there's a sisterhood of women, boss women, who really, really want to see them succeed and be successful, and to talk to them about life after sport. Because a lot of times, as student athletes, we get caught up in the what's next and I'm going pro, but we have to think about what's after, our playing days. And that's what our network here is Hoop5, to talk them through that. And then also help them through these times with, what they're dealing with from a mental health standpoint with COVID, because it's hard. Yeah. And we're here for them. And, we're here for our coaching staff. And we want to see this team do well. But I'm grateful for Megan and Dawn and Tiff for sharing those stories, because while it may not happen right away, you're laying that foundation for the future. And that's what I want our young ladies to remember, that, hey, yeah, we may not be there right now, but we're on the brink of it and it's coming. And I like what we're doing. I like the players we're recruiting. I like what I see out here, and I'm excited. I'm excited to go to an ACC championship when outside opens back up.
I was having a text conversation with Courtney about a week ago, and we were just talking about the program and things she wanted. And I told her, I was like, it wasn't built, the Rome wasn't built in a day. It literally was like, brick by brick by brick. And you're finding some of the great bricks to bring to this program, and it's going to happen. And just stay focused. You believe in your system, you believe in the program. We're going to try to pour into you as much as we know how. And I think during times like this, when you're rebuilding, it's important for the outside people to really say, hey, we support you even when, things aren't going well and we aren't winning championships right now. We talk about friendship and relationship. It's one thing to be arms on shoulders and celebrating when the confetti's coming down, but you've got to be there during the times when I need you the most, when we're not doing well. So this is a time where, like I said, we're going to support them. I'm still going to watch the ladies. I'm still support any way I know how, keeping them encouraged. And of course, giving to FORevHER Tar Heels. So making sure we're doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Man. But JT,
it's a close game, guys.
How are your teams managing COVID? Like they're doing all right now.
They are. We talked, me and you talk almost every day, but we didn't play our non-conference this year for basketball. We decided not to and just focus on conference play. But from a mental health standpoint, that's probably been the hardest part for our teams and our coaches. And I think that we sometimes own in as administrators on the student athletes, but we also have to keep in mind about our coaches and what they're going through as well too. Because what COVID taught us is that we like to be in control as administrators and as coaches, and COVID is in control. It's the force that's driving us right now. Everything's so fluid, so keeping them inspired and motivated. But our student athletes are just excited to be playing. Basketball, we shut down in March. We didn't have our tournament. We hadn't even started the tournament. I know some people had gotten into start. We hadn't started. We shut down. And so I'm excited to have basketball back. I'm partial because I love basketball. I mean, I love all my sports. That's what I tell them. But, I really love me some basketball. So I get so excited about basketball season. And to have us back playing is just remarkable. I know we start soccer soon. My volleyball team did opt out, so they're not going to play. But everyone else is playing. We have a softball and baseball tournaments coming up. We actually have a lot of Power 5 teams coming to Montgomery to play in our tournament. Maybe we can get Carolina down there one year. But, we're excited. I mean, it's just good to have sport back. But I want to make sure that we're keeping the safety of our student athletes at the forefront. Because while it's giving us a sense of entertainment and fans a sense of entertainment, we have to make sure our student athletes are also taken care of. And we can't let that just slide by the wayside, because it's stressful going to get tested 3 and 4 times a week. I get tested once a week and I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, what's the results, the anxiety. So can you imagine getting stuck up the nose? And first of all, some of those people that are doing the testing, they're not as nice with the little swab.
No.
Some people are gentle, some are better than others. Because I've gotten some people that had me coming out there in full-fledged contacts, popped out, everything. So we have to keep in mind that this is anxiety in itself, that testing piece. I get excited when my coach, my women's basketball assistant coach, sends me a note, even on my maternity leave, every time they get tested. Thank God we tested negative today.
Yeah.
Like I get excited to get those tested. I don't have something by 9 a.m. I'm calling him like, hey, what's the results? What happened? But that's the world we live in right now. And it's crazy. I mean, how as administrators are you all managing too? Because, you're in a tier 2 at UNCW, right? You have to travel and test and make sure the student athletes are tested, and the contact tracing piece and the quarantining. It's just a lot. But what I will say,
it's a lot. So that's a lot.
That,
it's a lot. But the part that once you get over this is now my life, you've got to be the role model for them to encourage them to want to continue to test. We're all in this together. I make sure that I try to go when they can see me testing too. Like, hey, I have to go through this too. So it's not just you out here on this island where we're telling you to do one thing and we're doing something else. It's important to, when we started COVID, when some of us were working from home, that we shared that on social media. So our student athletes can see, hey, it's not just us. It's not just you at home. It's us too. And then having our psychologists come in and have different, Zoom opportunities for them to jump into to get their mind off of, I'm at home. Like I told the kids, give your parents some grace. They're not accustomed to having you at home right now. You're supposed to be away, and your parent is not supposed to be in your life right now. So give each other some grace,
I think that's why mine came back on 100, because they were ready to get away from the parents. Ready. Mine were bells and whistles, excited to move into the dorms when we opened back.
Yeah. But now, Leah, you're right. That I think this Zoom did help the first half.
I told y'all we put all them good vibes in the atmosphere, and so they felt it all the way in Carmichael. But no, that's awesome. That's good. They're up.
So Leah,
you guys are so freaking cool. This is so fun. I wish we could do this all the time, because I would watch the game with you guys every single time.
You're so kind. Thank you. Maybe in person. Yes.
We'll have a real one when COVID is over, when we can all be together.
Let's do that. I'm gonna hold you to that, Leah.
Group together.
JT and Tiff.
What's up, Tosh?
Let me talk about these ponytails these girls are playing in, though.
What? You don't like the ponytails?
I mean, I like the ponytails, but what?
I'm about to go get my 32 inches real soon.
Girl,
my 30 inches coming out for the tournament. I'm getting mine. You're so silly. I can't. We talked a lot about this. So this is like an ongoing discussion on Twitter about how are these young ladies. Now they look beautiful. I'm going to just put it out there. Yeah. But we didn't play in makeup. Like, I can't imagine playing in a full face. We used to clown the girls who wore makeup to play in. Like, that is just, you're not a real baller. But now that's crazy how it's changed. That's the norm. You're ruining our towels. You're ruining the white uniform. So stop doing it. But now it's it's the hair, the lashes, and I don't know how people play in nails. Like, I am not understanding how you play in nails. I don't get it. I don't. But they're doing it, and they look beautiful doing it.
They do, and it's graceful. But I'm just like, what would I do with all that on my head right now?
That's too much.
No.
It's hot.
It was somebody from Duke who just had a long ponytail, and the ref made her wrap it up. She was a post player. Oh God!
She's gonna hurt somebody, smacking them in the face.
Because she turned and it would whip around.
Yeah, that's a weapon. That's smart, though, actually. It's actually clever. I'm gonna tell some of my kids to go get some ponytails, y'all.
That's kind of why I wore my hair real long, because you can get it in someone's face real good. It's an advantage. Not gonna lie.
It is. I'm about to go tell my girls to go get some braids or something and whip it around.
Right. Get them some bundles, okay? Get some bundles.
They have them. Trust me. I'm gonna send you a link to our game on Monday. They have them.
They have them.
That's funny, Tosh. Oh my goodness.
I was just looking like, ooh, if I had some bundles like that, I wouldn't even be able to get my helmet on my head. So I don't think it would work in softball.
That's what I'm about to say. In softball, I don't think you guys would be able to, yeah.
But if I could swap it out in between innings, girl.
You're so funny.
Oh Lord, y'all are so man. Good. Kim, Lee,
I appreciate it.
Y'all good?
Y'all are awesome.
Okay. So we're just chatting away over here.
I know we can stay and talk. I do want to say that our student, I can't speak for Tiff, but I think that she would agree with me that our time as student athletes at Carolina has prepared us to lead during this time of COVID. I will say that just the things that we went through, good, bad, or indifferent, really taught us how to be champions in the face of adversity, and it's carried over to where we are as leaders within our department, leaders within our state, just in our profession. And it's just adamant in how well, Tiff is doing at UNCW, the successes that I've had in the chair at Alabama State. And I just can't thank, I attribute it definitely to my time as a student athlete, because we went through that mile run. I'm probably going to chalk it up just to the mile run.
To the mile?
I don't know if they do the mile run, but if they don't, it needs to come back, because we used to be, as soon as I heard ROTC outside my window at Carmichael, I knew it was go time.
It was go time.
We would go, it was go time. And
especially when the track team tells you spend more time on the track than they do.
We had track student athletes helping us run. Like, I recruited a track student athlete for each mile that I needed to run. It was crazy, but I will say I appreciate my time as a student athlete, and it's going to take our students, even though they're going through COVID right now, they're going to come out of this so much stronger. We just have to be there to continue to encourage them and keep them lifted. Just keep them lifted up. Megan, I see your hand raised.
Megan, what you got?
Yeah, I think for me, one of the most influential parts of being a part of the Carolina team was that I got to meet so many different people. And I feel like that has really helped me as a coach. Like, I coached in college for 10 years. I'm at high school now, but when I was actively recruiting players, I felt like I could, sit in a living room or be on a phone call with a parent or a family and have some kind of relational ability, because I've had teammates from so many different walks of life, I have so many different views, and I feel like it really taught me to appreciate everyone's differences, because I have a different story than all my teammates. And so for me, in my life where I am right now, I think that is probably one of the strongest things I have learned from being a Tar Heel.
Absolutely. Sport brings people together, and it brings you together from all different walks of life. And I think that's why we saw student athletes really come together during this time with the social injustices, really kind of stand together. And Carolina, once again, was at the forefront with athletics of really taking a lead on the initiatives that came out this summer regarding social injustices. So that's a very good point, Megan. It's just that sport, it's all walks of life, all different perspectives. I just think about the teams we were on. I'm from Detroit. I think that the Tar Heels just got another player from Michigan recently, but until then, I was the only player from Michigan. But to come from the Midwest to the South, you had Tiff from Petersburg, we had Liz from California, we had people from the DMV. We were all over. We had a couple local Carolina folks, but for the most part, we were from all over. And to bring this melting pot of people, Black, white, short, tall, whatever, together as sisters. We had people from Vegas, everywhere.
Yenny from Finland?
Finland. My little sister was from Finland. My big sister was from Memphis. Memphis and Detroit together, that's a heck of a combo. But it was just, you bring everyone to this melting pot and you learn to respect people's differences. And I think that the world in general, from corporate America on down, could just take note on how sport really puts people in situations about respect. We're going to all have our different opinions, but when you have a common level of respect and you're working towards a common goal, I think people lose sight sometimes of the goal. You can do some great things. And that's what I love so much about sport. And thank you, Megan, for bringing that up. I know our time is coming to an end. They have us here. This was great. I appreciate Leah and Kim for reaching out. Shout out to Tori. I know she's not on the call, but she's sending her mojo, her vibes, you know, to the ladies. But thank you all for inviting us to do this. I couldn't have asked for a better person to do it with than my bestie over here. So thank you guys.
But no, thank you. Like I said, Jennifer, I ditto everything Jennifer said. You know, I just want to leave everybody just with, you know, give yourself some grace, you know, invest in yourself, take care of yourself. In the words, I know Jennifer just said this last week, and it's resonated with me over and over again. It's okay to not be okay, but seek help where you need it. I think as women, we get stuck in the mentality, I'm supposed to be strong. I'm supposed to have all the answers. I've got to fix it. If I don't fix it, nobody will. So make sure that you're taking care of yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So keep feeding yourself. Like I'll tell everybody, you know, my secret sauce is the fact that I went to Carolina, and all the things Megan, all the things Jennifer said makes me great. And no one can take that from me. But, you know, like there's some times where I may not feel 100%. I may not think I've done a great job. Surround yourself with people who pour back into you the same way you give to them. So take care of yourselves, everybody.
Yes, love you guys. And real quick though, my dad is on this call, so I want to give a shout out to my dad. He joined us, Ron Thomas. He was my coach, so he was instrumental in getting me to Carolina. He supported me for 40 years. I'm telling my age, but I want him to support me for 40 more. But love you, Dad. Thank you so much for being on the call. I just saw you pop. I'm like, oh, that's my dad. Yeah. So
my dad doesn't know how to use Zoom, so he just.
Mine learned from the baby shower, so that y'all did that Tiff put on the virtual. So that was his crash course. So yes.
Well, of course, before I get off, I got to say hello to my Harper, because I know she's back there somewhere running around. And
Harper's been up since 5 a.m. They're both asleep now.
Oh.
This was perfect timing. Yeah.
Perfect.
My 5-year-old and my
so
5-week-old knocked out. Yes.
Thank you. The best ambassadors of Carolina. And this was so much fun. I think I speak for everybody on this call when I say this was a blast. And we brought the mojo for the first half. Now we're going to go finish this game. Beat State. Thank you both. Thank you, everyone. Go Heels. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday.
Go Heels. Natalie. Hey, Natalie.
Go Heels. Hey, Natalie. Go Heels.